Students, Logan Phillips here. Alright, this video is going to be a walkthrough of the Microsoft Word 2016 guided projects. So I'm going to show you how to go through and download the initial files, what you're going to be looking at, and then you're going to work through them one by one through the steps. So the very first thing we're going to work through is to actually load up one of our concepts courses. Now this is, let me pull it over real quick, what you should be seeing on your on your Simnet Concepts class, or if you're in Simnet Microsoft Word, this will also be the exact same type of environment. So we're going to be working on a project, which means we're going to be downloading a file from the internet, working on it with our MS Office software that's installed on our computers, then re-uploading it for grading into the Simnet environment. So on the left-hand side, we're going to go look for the projects area. You can see here I've clicked on projects, and all of our projects for the entire course are arranged in order here. So we're going to work on the Microsoft Word projects, which if we come down here, we have PowerPoint, Word. We have chapter Guided Project 1.2, Independent 1.4, Independent 1.6. Now my instructional videos will be covering the guided projects 1-2, 2-1, and 3-1 for Microsoft Word, and the same format for Access, Excel, and PowerPoint. So the independent projects are completely on your own. You are required to do them, even if I don't have an instructional video for them. They are to show your mastery of the content. So we're going to download the guided project Microsoft Word 1-2. So I'm going to click on the project itself, and I'm going to open up into a new screen. Now this new screen has a few things you need to know about what's laid out here. First, you have 3 attempts. You can upload this project 3 separate times. If you need more attempts, just tell me and I will give them to you. And down here at the below, you'll see once you've uploaded it, what your score was and the pieces that you've missed or gotten correct. Now on the left-hand side is our start files and our instruction files. So you're going to see 2 downloads here that are important. The best practices you don't really need to download. It's not very important. Just forego it. If you're using a PC, then you're going to want to download the 2013-16 Office for Windows. If you're using a Mac, you're going to want to download the Mac for 2016. Excuse me. Get a little cotton mouth here. But below the instructions, you're going to find the start files. And the start files are what's going to give us the actual beginning documents. Now for some of these assignments, the beginning document is completely blank. But the reason we always download a start file is because that start file is digitally signed to your username. So once that's been downloaded, all my computer systems will recognize that it is your computer. If you download or install someone else's software or their start files and you try to upload them, it will flag you as cheating, as using dishonorable stuff, and it'll make me mark you as an F. You have a risk of being kicked out of the class. So make sure you use your start files. So let's go ahead and download these 2 documents. We're going to do the start file, and I'm going to use the Office for 13-16 for a PC. Now we're going to open up that one, and we're going to open up this one. Okay. So the instruction files are the very first thing that you're going to see that we're going to be utilizing. I'll get to that other document here in a minute. You'll see at the very top it says Guided Project 1-2. This is the project we're working on. You'll see our objectives that we're going to be working on, our outcomes for this document, the things that you're going to be learning, and then you're going to get into the actual step-by-steps. Now the guided project is very clear and precise, but we'll still walk through it to make sure you understand how everything works. The independent projects are a little bit more vague, and they really expect you to have done the guided project first so that you know where these types of items are located. So I'm not going to be showing you this instruction for very long. You can read through it and follow along. I suggest printing it off and keeping it with you. It's several pages, but it will help. I have 2 screens here that I'm using, so the instruction file will be on one screen and the start file will be on one screen. So I'm going to move this over and I'm going to bring in our student start file. Now the start file is the document that you downloaded from the internet. That's the beginning document that we're going to be manipulating and editing and changing through this lesson. Now for this lesson, it's the Sierra Pacific Community College document. And the very first thing we see is this big yellow bar up top, and it's called the Enable Editing bar. And now what's happened here is because we downloaded this document from online, the Enable Editing has appeared and said, do you absolutely trust this document? If you don't trust the document, don't hit Enable Editing. because documents that download from the internet can contain things called macros, which are little pieces of programming language that can infect your systems. Now, hopefully, as your professor, you trust me, you know who I am, you know I wouldn't give you a virus intentionally. So we're going to click on the Enable Editing button. Let's go ahead and load that up. Now, the very first thing you'll see at the very top is your first name, period, last name, online learning-01. If it doesn't say your first name, period, last name, there may have been a glitch. Go and re-download that start file. Now, I'm going to go ahead and save this to my desktop because I like working on my desktop. It's the easiest. So I'm going to hit my Backstage view. I'm going to choose Save As, and I'm going to choose to put this into a browse, and I'm going to find my desktop. I'm going to leave the naming structure the same, and I'm going to hit Save. So still, my name's up at the top. This is the name of the document. All my documents here, you can see there's one page, 331 words. So let's go ahead and start getting in here and start modifying this. So using our instruction file that we downloaded earlier, mine's on my right-hand side screen, so you're not going to be able to see it. We're going to start working through these steps. First, we're going to open up the online learning document, which we have done so far, and we can see that it's named our correct thing, and we're going to change the line and paragraph spacings of this entire document. So we're on to step 3 here, and for step 3, we're going to start changing paragraph spacings for the entire document. So we're going to hit the Control and A on our keyboard at the same time. So with our document selected, I'm going to hit Control and A, and what that does is selects everything. You'll find there's a variety of keyboard shortcut keys in the Microsoft Word cheat menu that I gave you in our resources. You can look at that for a variety of Control-C, which is copy, Control-V is paste, and those type of items. So we're going to hit Control-A, which is select all, and we're going to highlight all the words, all the paragraphs, everything. Then we're going to click on the Paragraph Launcher dialog box, which is on the Home tab in the layout, or on Home, excuse me, it's on the Home tab in the Paragraph grouping, and we're going to open up that Paragraph dialog box launcher. Now, the dialog box launchers are advanced features that we allow us to get into more specific commands for any of the Microsoft suites. So instead of doing the very minimum, we can actually modify things to look exactly how we want them to look. So we're going to go in here, and that was again on the Home tab in the Paragraph grouping in the bottom right corner, the Paragraph dialog box launcher button. And from here, we're going to set this spacing. And we're going to set the spacing as multiple and at area type 1.2. So our line spacing right now is set to single. We're going to change the line spacing to multiple, and instead of a 3, we're going to type in 1.2. And we're going to change the after paragraph spacing to a 12 point. So let's go ahead and do the up arrows twice and give us a 12 point. You could also highlight it and typed in with your numeric keys. Either one would have worked. Now, there's a big difference between line spacing and paragraph spacing. In a line spacing, that is the space in between each of the individual lines. A paragraph spacing is the spacing in between the groups of text that make up your paragraph. So let's hit OK and see how this looks. So we have a pretty spread out document here now with line spacing and paragraph spacing, multiple at 1.2 and a spacing of after of 12 point. Let's just make sure. Okay. And we're going to hit OK. Now the next thing we do is right now we can see that this is really spread out. It looks sort of like crap. And we have this whole empty line in between each of the paragraphs. That's actually an individual paragraph of itself. It's an empty paragraph. What I want to do here is actually delete these these empty paragraphs so everything condenses down a little bit. So here on the Home tab in the Paragraph grouping, I'm going to choose to turn on the Show Hide. Now I can either hit the Control, the plus symbol, and the asterisk all at the same time, or I can hit this particular button. And what this does is it turns on our mine went blank there for a second. Paragraph markings, sorry. And so you can see here this little backwards P with a line is actually a paragraph marking. So we have an online learning information paragraph, an empty paragraph, definitions of online learning modalities paragraph, an empty paragraph. So we're going to go through here and delete these empty paragraphs. Now I'm just going to click on it with my left mouse button and hit the backspace to get rid of them. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's not that hard. Left click with mouse, backspace, to get rid of. So now you can see that we have all these paragraphs with a nice spacing in between them of 12 points, but we don't have any empty paragraphs. So they're just sitting there waiting for text. And so that was step 4. Now, next on step 5, we're going to change the font size of the entire document. So we're going to hit that Control A again, which is our shortcut key for select all. And with Control A, we're going to change it to a Cambry font, and we're going to change it to a different type of font size. So on our Home tab in our font grouping, we're going to go from Calibri, and we're going to choose Cambria. So we've changed the font style a little bit. This is just how the words actually look. And then we're going to go and select a few different things. So we're on step 6 now. We're going to select the title of the document, which is Online Learning Information. So let's go ahead and select the Online Learning Information. That entire paragraph, you can see it ends at the paragraph marker. And we're going to choose to go to the Layout tab. So let's go to Layout tab, and we're going to do some spacing modifications here. We're going to change the before spacing, because you can see the picture is sort of touching the line of text. We don't really want that. So we're going to do a before spacing of this particular paragraph of a 36 points. So it moved it down a little bit. It didn't create a new line. It just made the spacing of that paragraph a little bit pushed down. And we're going to change the after paragraph spacing of that same one from a 12 point to an 18 point. And you can see here it gave it a nice little spacing between the top and the bottom of this one paragraph. Next, we're going to center this paragraph on the page. So we're going to go to the Home tab. We're going to choose to go into the paragraph grouping, and we have different alignments we can use. We have left align, center align, right align, or justified. But we're going to choose to go to that center align. So we have a document with a header. Now we're on to step 6E at this point, and we're going to click on the font launcher or font dialog box launcher. So we come up here to our Home tab. In the font grouping, we're going to choose our dialog box launcher, and this gives us those more advanced features and methods we can use for our font specific material. Alright, so we're going to change this font in a couple different ways for just the header. And sorry about that. Let's get rid of that notification. We're going to change this to a size bold 24 small caps. So here in the font grouping, we're going to choose to go from regular font style to bold, which makes it thick and black. And we're going to choose to go to a size 24. All right, now we're at size 11, so let's jump this up to a size 24. And we're going to choose to make this into a small caps. So what a small caps does is it makes all the letters a capital letter, but the very first letter of each word is a bigger capital letter, just by a slight amount. You can see the O is bigger than the N, the L is bigger than the E, the I is bigger than the N. Then we're going to click the font color drop-down list, and we're going to choose blue-gray text 2. So we got font color. Right now, automatic is always black, and we're going to choose blue-gray text 2. So we got blue accent 1, blue accent 5, let's see, gray, 1, 2, 3, 4 columns in, 1, 2, 3, 4 columns in, there we go, blue-gray text 2. So if you notice that every time you hover your mouse on anything inside Microsoft Word, it actually gives you the title or the name of that particular item. So here is blue-gray text 2, it's the 4th column in, 1st row. And we're going to click on the Advanced tab, and we're going to start modifying a little bit of our character spacings and ligatures and stuff right here. So we're going to click on the spacing drop-down list, and we're going to choose expanded by 1.2. Ligatures, number spacing, here we go, spacing, expanded, and we're going to change it from a spacing of 1 point to a 1.2. So you can see it made the letters in between each of the letters is a little bit bigger. It spread it out a little bit nicer. The first letter is large. The second letter is slightly smaller, but they're all uppercase. It's also a blue-gray color, and it's a bigger, and it's thick and bold. All right, so let's go on to step 7. we're going to move paragraphs in this document and insert a heading on this step. So right now things aren't aligned quite how we want them to be aligned. The material is not in the correct location. So we're going to select the last paragraph in the document, including the paragraph mark, which is this SPCCD. So we're going to select everything by clicking and holding our left mouse button and just dragging it to the very beginning. And from here we're going to use the cut and the Control X commands. Alright, so there's a difference between copy and paste and cut and copy paste. So if you're cutting and pasting something, you're actually taking an item from where it's located and physically moving it to a new location. If you're copying and pasting something, you're just duplicating where it's setting to a new location, so it will now be into two locations. So cut and paste moves an item. Copy and paste duplicates the item. So we're going to go ahead and use our Control X, which cut the item, and we're going to paste this second line of the document, definitions of online modalities. So we're going to paste it right before definitions of online modalities by hitting Control and V. You can see that cut and paste moved it from the bottom and posted it to the very front. That was Control X and Control V. Let's see, so we're on step 17, and we're going to click on the top half of the paste button and hit Control V. So we did that. We used Control V, which was the keyboard shortcut. If you don't want to use the keyboard shortcut, you could have come to the Home tab, clicked on the down arrow of the paste, and used a paste formats. Next, we're going to click at the beginning of the pasted paragraph and select, so right here, right before SPCCD, and we're going to type in, where are we now with online learning? Question mark. And we're going to hit the enter button. So I'm actually going to pull that spacing back and I'm going to hit enter. If you put that space in there, so what I did is right after I typed it, I hit the space bar and you can see a little dot appeared, and then I hit enter. That little dot will make you wrong and take off points. So type it in, make sure there's no little dot, and then hit enter. We don't want that extra space there. Alright, where were we at? Next, we're going to select the paragraph that begins with a hybrid course. So let's go find hybrid course. Here we go. It's the second to last one. And we're going to select this entire thing. So again, left click and drag, hybrid course. And we're going to move this before the paragraph that begins with television or web courses. So really we wanted to just switch these back and forth. Now I can use the Control X, Control V, or I can left click and hold my mouse and physically drag the cursor to before television. So there's a variety of ways you can move text around. Alright, so we're now on to step 8, and we're going to format the section headings in a document by using the Format Painter. So over here, step 8, we're going to select that first heading, where are we now with the online learning. And we're going to do it with including the paragraph marking. And we're going to make some changes to this. We're going to open up that font dialog box launcher, which is on the Home tab, font grouping, bottom right corner, dialog box launcher. And we're going to change all the requirements that we need here. We're going to change it to a 12-point font. So let's go back to the font instead of the advanced. We're going to change it to a blue-gray text 2, which is the 4th column. And we're going to make it a double underlined. So let's go through double underline, which we can see here in the underline style. And we're going to choose not one, but the second one down, a double underline. So we have a blue-gray, font 12, double underline going on right here. Okay. Next, we're going to choose the all caps, make it all uppercase. Alright, all caps, hit OK, and then we're going to go to the Text Effects and Typography button on the Home tab in the font group. So let's go ahead and kill this, hit OK, and then we're going to go to the Home group and the Text Effects and Typography button, which is the little weird A with a highlight around it, and we're going to choose to hit that drop down menu, And we're going to place the pointer on shadow and select the offset diagonal bottom right. So we're going to go down to shadow and we're going to go offset diagonal bottom right. Okay, so offset bottom right. Okay. So in the 2016 version, the shadow, outer shadow, offset bottom right is the one we're going for. So you can see here we have a nice little title, double underlined, all caps, offset shadow bottom right. It's a blue-gray text too. So we don't want to go through all those same menus again. We don't want to open up the two different menus, do all these clicks. So we can use a thing called the Format Painter. So we're going to highlight this thing all the way here, and we're going to come up here into our Home tab in our clipboard grouping, and we're going to click on the Format Painter. And we're going to, with it clicked, we're going to come down here. Yeah, let's do that one more time. Click it. Come down here, and we have the definitions of online modalities. We're going to highlight it, and we're going to watch as all those changes we made immediately take effect on that next heading without us doing any of those little pieces. All right, let's see. Now there was one important thing here. If you didn't check it, make sure that when you've done this with it highlighted, let's open up that font dialog box launcher, that you double check the underlined color. It should have been the automatically blue-gray text 2, but if yours didn't turn to blue-gray text 2 and it's still at automatic, make sure you fix that little issue. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to change these body headers. So I'm going to select online courses here, and I'm going to start modifying its style, and this is on step 9. We're going to include the colon. We're going to click on the font launcher dialog box, so Home tab, font grouping, dialog box launcher, and we're going to set this to a bold. We're going to change it to blue-gray text 2. Let's see, and we're going to change it to a small caps. And we're going to hit OK. So now we have a bold, small caps, blue-gray text 2. And so we're going to do the Format Painter, the same thing, and we're going to do it onto all the other little pieces here. So we're going to double-click the Format Painter because I want to do it multiple times. You'll have to do this in rapid succession, 2 double left clicks. And that will permanently highlight that, and we should be able to come through here and do it. Sometimes the double-click thing doesn't work. Sometimes it does. If it's not working, just hit your Format Painter again and come through and take care of it. So what we've done here is we've taken all of them, turned blue, text 2, bold, small caps. Alright, next we're going to go to step 11, and we're going to correct some of our spelling and grammar. Now inside Microsoft Word, get back here, you'll have a little bit of notifications that you've done something stupid. If you've misspelled a word, it'll be underneath with a little red squiggly line. If you have some grammar, other type of issue, it'll be a blue or purple squiggly line below it. So we're going to go to our Review tab in the Proofing group, and we're going to choose to open up our spelling and grammar. And you can see here some potion should be some portion. Let's go ahead and change that. Management should be management. Let's go ahead and change it. Okay, so that we've done a review of the words, we've double checked our spelling and grammar, so we're on to step 12 at this point. For step 12, we're going to select the sentence in parentheses at the end of the document, including the parentheses, and click the italic button. So let's go to the italic, or the very end of the document, and we have this note all the way through Tools. So we're going to highlight everything, including the parentheses, but not the spacings. And we're going to go to our Home tab, and we're going to make this italics, which just means to slant it to the side a little bit. Now you could have also done it by using a keyboard shortcut of Control-I, or you could have come to Home tab and just hit the button. Or with it highlighted, you could actually have came down here, highlight it, and an automatic little piece would have came up, and you could have chose the italics directly from there. So inside of all the PC software type stuff, there's always going to be a variety of means for you to do any of the type of documents or the methods that we're doing. Now in this class, I'm teaching you certain ones. So that means I'm wanting you to use those ones. So make sure that you're using the correct methods on all the styles that I'm teaching you. All right, so let's go, that was step 12. On step 13, we're going to add a document properties in the properties dialog box. So to do this, we're going to go to our actual backstage view. So let's go here to our file button, our file tab, which brings us to our backstage view. You can see here on the info tab, we have a properties, and I'm going to choose to show all properties. And we're going to choose advanced properties if you're inside Office 2013, or just show all properties if you're inside Office 2016. And we're going to type in a title of online learning information. So let's go ahead and find title. There we go. And we're going to type in the subject area online learning. Let's see, subject area. Subject, here we go. Learning. And we're going to go into the author, and we're going to type in Tanisha Morris. So notice that because I'm logged in, you can see my name at the top right corner, and I've been working on this document, it's actually named me as an author. So I'm going to choose to add an author, and her name is going to be Tanisha Morris. Now, if I was working in a live environment, if I had contacts in my email accounts, I could actually look those people up and insert them directly in here with all their contact information, which makes things very nice. This little button right next to that is actually the contacts lookup button, where you can search your address books either inside your MS Office environment, the OneDrive, your Hotmail accounts, or inside the Microsoft operating system. So let's go ahead. We named her as the author, and we're going to click OK. For 2016, there is no OK button. For 2013, you'll hit OK and be done with it. And we're going to go back to our regular view by hitting that back arrow and going to Backstage. Now, we've done all of our documents, and one thing I want to show you to do before I change this out is I absolutely hate looking at these paragraph markers. So we can turn those off by going to our Home tab, our paragraph grouping, and choosing Show Hide and getting rid of them. All right, so next let's go ahead and save this. We're going to go to File. We're going to choose to Save As, and I'm going to put mine back on my desktop. I'm going to leave the name and everything the same. And so we've saved that, everything's updated. And next we're going to upload this document. So the upload process for the Simnet environment is pretty straightforward. We've saved our document, we know what the title is. I can go ahead and close it down. And now here on my desktop I have my document, Logan Phillips Online Learning-01. If we open up our Simnet, now that we've downloaded and worked through it, we have a new button that's able to be accessed called the Upload My File. So I'm going to choose to upload my file. I'm going to find my document. I put mine on my desktop to make it easy. So you can see here a little preview of the document that looks like the one I've been working on. And so I'm going to choose it. I'm going to hit open. And Simnet's going to ask me a pretty straightforward question. Are you ready to submit this for grading? If you're not, if you upload the wrong document, no, I'm not ready. Delete it, upload the correct document. If you're yes, choose to submit the file. Now hopefully as a professor I've done all the steps right. If I've done something wrong, it'll be a teaching moment and I did it on purpose. But so let's go ahead. It's submitting the document. It looks like I got a 97%. I missed something here. So this is the area that you're going to see once you've submitted your document. Now we have the correct, partial, and incorrect. Now as you click on these, you can actually get rid of them. So if I don't want to see what I got correct, I can choose to hide all those. If I don't want to see what I got incorrect, I can choose to hide all of them. You can see here I got partial on one piece. And down here on step 13E, in the author area, delete the existing author and name and type Tanisha Morris as the author. I forgot to delete myself as an author. So let's go ahead and open that document back up and I'll show you how to do that real quick. So on the File, Backstage View, here in the Related People, I'm going to show all properties, and I'm going to choose to delete myself as an author. To do this, all I have to do is right click on that person and choose to remove the person. So right now I'm going to have Tanisha Morris as the only author, and I'm going to choose to save it. There we go. Let's close that out. Let's go back into Simnet here. Alright, so right now I've made a mistake and I've lost a single point. It's a silly mistake. I should have done it, but at least it lets me show you what this will look like. If it's in red, it's a mistake. But you can modify these and re-upload your documents up to 3 times. So we go through here, we've modified the items, we know what we've made correct, everything green is done correctly. I'm going to choose to go back to my assignments here. So let's go back to this guided project. Now I went ahead and fixed it, so I'm going to go ahead and upload my file. I'm going to choose my file again. I'm going to choose to say yes, submit the file, it's ready for grading. And now I got 100%. So you can see here that you can modify what you did wrong on your actual documents themselves and then re-upload them. That is not cheating, that is not wrong. You can upload and modify up to 3 times. If you need more attempts, just tell me and I will give you more attempts. Alright, now let's go ahead and go back here. What you can see here below is all of your attempts and what grades you got on them. So you can see attempt 1, I got a 90%, 7%, I fixed it, and attempt 2, I got 100%. I always count the highest graded attempt. So if attempt 1 you get a 97%, attempt 2 you get an 86, and attempt 3 you get a 76, you will get the highest grade that you earned on any of your attempts. So make sure you understand that. Now, if you don't like an attempt, you should be seeing this button. Now, what this will do, like maybe I'm working here and go, oh crap, I don't want to have this 97% here. It's a really low grade, I want another attempt, and I hit delete. Yes, delete the results. I now have 2 more attempts on this file. So you have that option to delete your attempts. Alright, now let's go back to our grades here. So you can see what this looks like inside your grade book. So in our grade book, we can actually scroll down and we can look at our grades for just projects here. You can see here I got a score of 30-30. That's 100%. I got full points for this particular grade, and I can even see my attempts and exactly what I did wrong. So that's how you do your guided project Microsoft Word 1-2. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know and I will gladly help you out. Guys, double check with this, follow along. If you do it without following along, you're fine. But this is here if you need the help. Have a very fruitful day. Bye, guys.